Good afternoon, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good.
We're good. We're
How
there.
are
We're
you?
there. Blessed.
Good. Yeah, as Adjani said, blessed. I'm blessed in always. We're here to talk about Dreaming Whilst Black. The day after the pilot went out, or first episode. I'm gonna call it first episode, man. There's gonna be a whole heap to come. I can just feel it. So Sebastian, director, Adjani, lead actor, both of you killed it. I just want to say that from the top. Brilliant display of creativity. I'm so glad that this kind of content is reaching where it's reaching. Let's get into it. Sebastian, I've known you a long time. I know your whole journey, your whole walk from your late teens. We'll get into that a little bit later. But in terms of being able to deliver a project like this, just talk about what it means. And for those who haven't seen it, don't know much about it, just explain what Dreaming Whilst Black is.
Wow. To me, I think Adjani would do a much better job in explaining it.
I want him to do it. I want him to do it, but I want you to go.
But I will share my perspective, right? But I mean, I think that Dreaming Whilst Black is an important show for many reasons. I think it touches on so much, and especially just even if we look at it, like if we forget the story of what's actually happening in the show, I just mean the story of where it came from, right? It was a web series that got all the accolades that it can get, a lot of awards, people loved it, and then 5 years later, it moved on to BBC Three, and that journey is not an easy journey, man. It's long. It's a long process. 5 years to like develop. Or I think, is it more, Adjani, or about?
So yeah, I came up with the idea 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, that whole development process to live with a project that people are going to watch for 30 minutes, you know, and decide your fate is a lot. But I mean, I think just that journey as filmmakers and as Black creatives in the industry is something that we all are just looking at and saying like, yeah, like this is possible if you just put the work in and put the hard work in. And I think the reason I'm sharing that is because that's what the show is about. Like the show is about putting that graft in, putting that work in, despite the obstacles, despite whether your content is not being seen by the right people, or whether people don't get what you're trying to do. I think Kwabena, the main character, is, you know, just trying to live out his dreams, you know. And I think, I think Adjani can add to.
Well, I'm gonna get to Adjani now because you know, as we spoke about off camera, Adjani, co-creator, co-writer, exec producer, deserved of all the credits, and you know, as Sebastian just said, a 5-year journey. Talk about it, man. You must be feeling on cloud 9 right now.
Yo, you know what though? It's funny because as much as I am, I'm already thinking about forward. Like in my head, we don't get the commission, and it's like, yo, what is the season looking like? Because for me, Dreaming Whilst Black started as just this fun little web series project that turned into almost a statement of like, this is who I am as a filmmaker. So from a personal perspective of this is who I am as a filmmaker, I'm willing to say whatever I want. I have to just hold that. But also a statement of alternative narratives. You know what I mean? And a statement of another way. I feel like so many people have gone through the route of, you know, trying to get development and all of that stuff, which is great. But I'm another, like Sebastian, actually, like so many of us Black creatives, we have had to forge our own path. And Dreaming Whilst Black is almost like a representation of that path that we've had to chart for ourselves, which hasn't. I know that it's on BBC, to be honest. Just coming from a web series to a TV show is testament to that struggle. It's almost now like a symbol of, listen, the man I'm gonna try to fight you, but you can't do it. You know, because how many web series have gotten here? And I feel like we're now standing on the shoulders of all the web series before, the great web series before us, that didn't make it because of the isms and schisms and
Do you know something, Adjani? Sorry to cut you, but it's on that point, you know, eight minutes in, you're sitting with Amy in a bar after you've just kind of reconnected, right?
Yeah.
And that whole scene where you were describing the journey of a Black creative having got this feature film parked off, and you were going, you know what it's like when you got to go through the this, the that, the this. Do you know how that resonated with me so much? Because I was sitting there thinking to myself, that's pretty much everybody's journey. Everybody's gonna be sitting there nodding their head at that point. It's art replicating real life in art. So yeah, it's that whole dynamic, right?
Yeah, man. And honestly, I feel like Dreaming Whilst Black is just kind of like a symbol, as much as symbols have a limited amount of meaning, but it has something just to kind of champion the youths behind us, or inspire the people behind us to be like, actually, look, these kids did their thing and they just did whatever they wanted and got it on TV. Now we can take that a step further.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I love, you know what, with what you're saying, I love that as a symbol, because I feel that empowers people even more, because they're not waiting. Like, it's not about waiting to try and go the traditional route, you know, like it's about, you know, taking the control and making your stuff by any means. And if it gets picked up, it gets picked up. If it doesn't, we still done it, you know.
We still did it.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
You know, there were characters I could relate to, discourse I could identify with. None of it felt forced or coerced. You kind of really found that balance, you know, which isn't easy to do. There was another, I forget the name of it now, actually. There's another show on Sky, which recently I've done an interview as well. I can't believe I forget it. But I found that they'd found the right ingredients in a similar type of way. So talk about the rest of the team helping to support the vision, and how easy that was to bring about.
So I think firstly, everything kind of starts with the script, right? And the benefit that we had was that it was an amazing script that Adjani and Ali done. Also, the tone of the web series was already kind of established. Like, we already got an idea of what it should feel like, right? So a lot of the work is done for you, but as a director, for me, it was about seeing how we can elevate that with money now, like from BBC. Do you get what I mean? Like, we got the money now, we got the team, like, what can we do to take this to the next level? And I think the heads of department that we had were amazing, so amazing. Like, even the makeup and hair for Adjani, like, they done things to his hair that he's never thought of doing. You know, like, it was some like black women doing amazing stuff. And Mark, who was like on the costume, he brought like the vision like to life in terms of, so what I done as a director is like I done loads of packs of, you know, like the types of looks and how I want each character to feel and look and what type of clothes they could wear. And then I send that to the, you know, heads of department, and they put their own spin, their own flavor. They might tell me, look, this might not work, let's try this. And we kind of establish a look and tone. So we done that. I done that with all the heads of department and even production design. She was amazing, Angel. And then we done the next layer of that is establishing the tone with the director of photography. So how it's shot, how it looks, the colors, the locations, all those elements were about finding a way to make Dreaming Whilst Black feel grounded in reality and more cinematic. Like, the aim was to make it feel more like film than TV, because Kwabena, it needed to be a show that Kwabena would want to watch, and Kwabena would be like, that's banging. So like the character needed, like, I could never see Dreaming Whilst Black not being cinematic and just being, you know, something that's shot handheld and very quickly. Like it wouldn't work for the character. But that's what helped kind of all bring the tone to it for me. And I don't know, Adjani, how was it for you in the script? Was it like that?
To be honest, again, because we've established the tone already.
Yeah.
Like in coming to the script, me and Ali were just kind of like, yo, how can we do the same thing, just better? And like by that point, again, we'd grown since, because we released the web series 2018. So by the time we come back and we write the pilot in 2019, like end of 2019, 2020, we had grown as artists, right? So it was just like, yo, how can we take this to the next level? What can we talk about that we're not talking, like, what can we say that's not being said? How can we add to the conversation? So it was really just sitting down and saying, all right, cool, what's out there, what's not out there, what do we want to do? And yeah, man, it was just, you know, obviously it take a lot of reading and a lot of like just studying in general. But I feel like the tone wasn't the tone wasn't the problem for us. The thing was, how do we just make ourselves better artists? And by the time we got the heads of departments, I feel like in any crew, if you just find people that care, like them are gonna take it as their baby as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was my baby, then it became Sebastian's baby, then it became everybody on the crew's baby, and it's really just getting people who back it. Like I said, even hair and makeup. Like my dad in studio right now. Like you know,
I was gonna say, sorry, you really do get the sense that yeah, everybody bought in. You know, you really do get the sense that the team was one on this. Just let's stray away from that slightly, because Adjani, a lot of people might be coming across you for the first time. They might not know your walk, you know, they might have watched Dreaming Whilst Black and thinking, hold on a minute, he's not from Walthamstow, is he? So tell us a little bit about your own personal journey.
Yeah, well, British born, Jamaican raised. My mother was kind of like, this place kind of long still.
Whereabouts in Jamaica?
Well, Mobe, if you know it, Montego Bay, if you don't. And yes, I just grew up in Jamaica, you know, go primary school, high school, college. And yeah, to be honest, when I came back for uni, I studied architecture. Right. And when I finished and went back to Jamaica now to work, I feel like just after a while, I was like, yo, I don't know, it just don't feel right. You know, it's work, but it don't feel like fun. And when my cousin came to visit and I got exposed, because he's a filmmaker, photographer as well. And when he came to visit and I got exposed to filming through him, I was thinking, yo, but this fun. And the paid part of it is also fun. And I think that was the difference with architecture, where architecture school was fun, but the job of an architect, I didn't find fun. Whereas film, because I got exposed to it just from working on sets with him, I'm like, oh, mad, I love this. I'm like, I have loads of ideas. So yeah, I just kind of jump into it from there. But after a couple of years, about 3 years, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to expose myself more. So I came back to England to go to film school. And I've been here since then, you know, just trying to forge my own path in this industry. Because, you know, Jamaica industry is small. So I was like, cool, let me try establish myself here first. And I've been here establishing myself since.
Well, I think you've done a pretty good job to have reached where you reached. They're gonna say, I can only imagine what you know the feedback has been like from Jamaica for people to see you reach.
Oh yeah, man, them love it. Everybody here love it. They're like, yo, dog, yo, what a VPN? How the license thing go? Yeah, so no, man, it's been overwhelmingly positive. And just again for them, it's like, yo, like just to see another Jamaican come up here and do it and like be successful. is a big thing.
Sebastian, you walked into The Voice 17, I think you were.
Yeah.
17 years old, into the offices at Northern and Shell Tower in Canary Wharf there. And when you left, everybody sat in the office and said, you know, that young man there, he's going to go on to do some big things. To see you now where you are is, I mean, signed to WME. You're part of that stable. God, I forget his name. How can I forget his name?
Femi.
Yeah, Femi. Yeah. Hats off and kudos to Femi. Sorry, I forgot your name. That stable you've created is absolutely amazing. He's a very, very powerful and inspirational individual. I can see why you're part of that group. You've just done some great things. TED Talks, you've been in the Standard. I mean, listen, the list goes on. All of it was expected. I really want to know if you're anywhere near your precipice, anywhere near your top. What does that look like? And just talk a little bit about your own journey and some of the frustrations you've had that have brought you to this point. Loaded question, but I really want you to go in.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Even just thinking about what you're talking about, because it's like, oh man, I never knew what I was doing really. And I was just learning as I went along, man. Like, but I was very motivated, or still am, like very motivated to do things I'm passionate about, and I'll find a way to do it. But I think for me, in terms of like, am I near the top of where, I feel like I haven't even started. Like honestly, it's like, it's not even to say that those things were not amazing, but I genuinely feel like I still don't feel like I'm in the industry. Do you get what I mean? And that's, it's a sad thing as well, because it's like, as a creative, or as a Black creative especially, you can be in the industry, but it's like things aren't getting made, things are taking long. For loads of people, I think it's the case, but I feel for Black creatives or people of color, it's even worse, isn't it? Like, if you look at the percentages of like how many films or TV shows are made by BAME directors and things like that, it's very low, man. Like, the last time I looked, it was like 2%, or like, and to know that I'm in a 2% of, or 1% of a show is like, it's crazy. But I mean, yeah, I don't feel like I've done like, because I've got so many things. It's like what I think Adjani touched on it, or maybe he touched on it the other day, where it's like, I'm literally thinking of the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and just to keep on going. And it's not about thinking of it in like a greedy way of like, I just want more and more. It's more about like the journey and just continuing to grow and get better at my craft and just create more, man. Like, I'm looking to do more TV shows, more films, to make Upshot a much more a bigger platform that can do for young creatives what it done for me, you know, like have Upshot TV run again and help youngers make content that they could use as a launch pad for their careers, because this formula works, you know. And if it doesn't work to get you a TV show, it works to get you to the point of people seeing what you can do, you finding your voice, you learning. So I think those are some of the things I want to do. But to say, am I near? I really, it's like, I literally, it's like, I feel like I'm starting again, especially when you do stuff when you start to get into like the BBC space, it can quickly make you just feel like, oh, okay, back to square one, you know, like now I need to navigate in this space. This is a new territory, new rules, new everything. Like, let's start again, man.
Has the landscape, question for both of you, has the landscape ever been better for creatives like you now to go on utilizing this this pathway, if you like, into mainstream acceptance? Has it ever been more accepting, and how much more accepting can it become?
Joel, you want to get me in that trouble?
I'm just keen to get the thoughts of people like yourself who are in the space and are pushing, right? Because that's what you're doing. We're pushing
Okay,
back.
look. I'll ease in a little bit, and I'll say, like, look, things are changing, and I think it's maybe down to the pandemic, Black Lives Matter movement that was happening last year, and I feel like there is now. It feels like there's a bit of a shift. How long this shift will be for, who knows? You know, whether it's for the next few years, whether it stops next year, I don't know. I hope it's consistent. I hope it lasts long. But regardless, like, if it doesn't, my mentality is I will make what I want to make regardless. Like, if it doesn't happen with mainstream, like, I will then go back to online. Like, it's not, that's my mentality with it. I think the biggest challenge is how to monetize stuff. You just need to figure out, if you do stuff online, where is your money coming from to be able to sustain that and sustain your life? Because all we want is to make a living, really. You know, well, that's for me. It's not just about BBC and fame. It's literally about, how can I have money to do this and continue doing it?
Yeah, man.
That's what I'll touch on. But Adjani, you might have a different angle.
All right, let me be choosy with my words. What was the question again? Give me about the question.
How accepted is the landscape for Black
and has it changed?
And how much more accepting can it be?
Okay. Well, boy, there are loads more accepting. It can be. Let's start there. But I would say that I can't speak in terms of what has changed. I think access has changed. Digital cameras are cheaper, which inadvertently means that Black and brown people who are for the isms and schisms tend to be more in the working class or lower end of the socio-economic ladder in this space, have more access to cameras. So even for myself, we could take a little cheap DSLR camera, use the stock lens where you get with the camera and shoot a whole web series. We never need no red or no all of that. So that's changed, because when you had Horace Ove, Menelik Shabazz, and them director there, they needed film. Film need to be processed. That's expensive. So even just the idea of me being able to experiment, even with a child that had a 4 megapixel digital camera that could record, access has changed. In terms of the industry, I would say that we've been here before. Again, if you go back to Pressure, Burning an Illusion, Babylon, which we never want to get in, and those films, there was an era of those films, and then we never really seen them. And then we'll go Real McCoy, Desmond's, Goodness Gracious Me, the Lenry Henry Show, I think it the name, and then Feel Like with it, vanish. And then you come back with the birth of, you know, all of that stuff. And, you know, we've been here in waves. This is not the first time we've been here. So whether no is sustainable or not, I don't know. But we are now on our wave again. And I would like to believe that because of the access that we have, that has been built upon on the backs of them, man, we have changed. So now we have more access to capital. We have a couple people in certain socioeconomic spaces that can support us. So we can do better. In terms of what the industry can look like, obviously there are ways to go. But I will say, but we are in a stronger position now.
Yeah.
To not even care if them man want let we in or not.
Yeah.
We have improved.
And it's about numbers as well, isn't it? If you can get the numbers and the following, they would want it because it's money. So
it's money.
Yeah, it's
all right. Well, listen. it's been a pleasure talking to both of you. I hope, you know, some of the youngsters and aspiring creatives in your space take note of your journey and the pitfalls that you've had to endure and the wins that you've experienced as well. And long may those wins continue. I expect to see both of you lighting up credits all over the place for years to come. And that's real talk.
Man. And I just really hope that people can just take from this and say you can tell regular stories. That's really just what we want, to just tell regular stories. Like, there's a space for that too. There's space for black rom-coms, like Just a Couple. There's space for Kwabena for just try and make it in our industry where nobody really wanted to make it. You know, there's there's space to play.
Dreaming Whilst Black, BBC Free Comedy site now for those listening and not watching this interview. Go check it out. It's a good laugh. And one thing I want to mention before I finish is the music was on point. I don't know who was involved in that.
Sebastian, heavily.
Yeah, I say I don't know, but I think I do.
But you know what? I can't lie. There was a few calls, that Adjani made that just shifted the thing as well. Like, because like I as a director, I just love music in general, but I mean also finding like weird music and stuff like that. I love doing things like that. But I mean, there was certain tracks that like Adjani also had in that he threw in that I feel just elevated it, you know. So I think it was a collaborative effort as well, man. Like to get the tone right. I think we kind of leaned on each other to you know see the vision from different lenses, you know. So but yeah, man, I'm proud of the music. I love the music. We've got a little playlist on Spotify
where you can check out. So because
and it ends with Dion. My wife's song at the end.
Listen,
which is dope. So yeah,
it's a banger.
Well, check that out, guys. I'm sure we'll be speaking again. But thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
For that, man.
Yeah?
Bless.
Nice one. Thank you so much.
No worries, man.
Yeah, man.
Nice.